Today I'm going to show you how to take the demo mobile application and turn that into a Phonegap application. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and click on the sample and tutorial workspaces and then go ahead and click on the demo mobile application. Let's go ahead and open that up. This will copy the files into the target folder, and from here we'll be modifying this application to work with Phonegap. What we're going to do is quickly just switch to lesson 16. That's the final chapter, if you will, and we're going to make a copy of the component that's here because we're going to take this component and modify it to use Phonegap. So we'll just go ahead and duplicate that. Go ahead and give it a different name. And let's go ahead and open that up. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to modify this photo button. So we're going to modify the action that's on the virtual click event of this button. So we're going to go to image upload and edit the action. Currently it's set to use the HTML5 image capture. We're going to switch that to Cordova. We're going to make sure that use Phonegap build is checked. And that's all we need to do here. So then we're just going to say OK. We're going to go ahead and save that. We're going to save the component. And we're going to go ahead and publish the component. So the component's going to be published to my local server here. At this point, we're done. We're ready to now work with the Phonegap App Builder and use that component as the basis of our Phonegap application. Now this one will be a little different than the other samples that I've documented for you because in this case we're going to be doing a server callback. So to upload the images and to update the records and so on. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to go ahead and we'll open up our Phonegap App Builder. We're creating a new project here. Let me go ahead and enter in my Phonegap credentials. And we're going to go ahead and build an Android and iOS application. We're going to select our initial component, which will be lesson 16 *start *PG. And this is the important thing. In this case, we're going to be making callbacks. This is not just a standalone application. This is an application that's calling back to the server. It's going to be getting data. It's going to be updating data. So this is where we need to specify, well, what is the URL for our callbacks? So in this case, I need to know the IP address of my machine that's running the alpha server. So we'll just look at that really quickly. Open up a command prompt. Type in ipconfig. That will give us the IP address of our machine, which we see right here, which is 192.168.10.14. That's good. So over in here, we have to enter in http://. Very important, that needs to be there. You may be using HTTPS, so whatever you're using, make sure you enter that prefix. And then 192.168.10.14. My server is running on port 81. And I am also publishing to a test directory. So I've got to specify that here also. That's really important. So we have to know exactly how to get to your server. Now in this case, I'm going to go ahead and we'll generate the icon. So we'll pick the master icon. So in this case, right in the alpha directory also is a Phonegap folder. I've provided some example icons. I'm going to pick the 144 by 144. That is the largest icon used by Android or iOS, and that will generate all the different icons that we need. You don't have to round these things off. iOS will do that automatically. And I'm just going to go with my defaults here, except I'll change my my application name to my demo app. And we're going to use the new Phonegap version 3.4.0. And there are some ramifications to using 3.30 and 3.40, which I'll show you in just a second. Yeah, if you don't click this pre-rendered icon under iOS, the iOS will automatically add the rounded corners and so on. So we're not going to do that. Now we need to enable some features for Android, so we're going to go ahead and enable our camera features. I'm going to also enable the notification features because we're going to bring up native notifications. In this case, this particular application will use the camera. It's going to use the file and the file transfer. That's what the image upload is using. And also we're going to use notifications so that we can bring up native notifications if something happens and so on. That's all we need to do there. So let me just take a quick check, make sure we've got everything correct. That all looks good. I'm going to go ahead and save and upload the application. And now we're uploading to Phonegap Build. Okay, that's done. I'm just bringing up my iPhone so you can see what's going on. To do that, I'm using, oh, look at that, me clicking on that. I'm using AirPlay on my iPhone. So here we can see our builds are pending. And it's now complete. Go ahead and scan in that QR code. That's from a previous scan. Let's go get that. And this will now install our application. We'll see that come up. And let's go ahead and load that. So what I'd like to do is I'm just going to pick a sort of a random record here, and we'll just go ahead and tell it we'd like to pick a photo. And we're going to go ahead and take a photo here. This is using the native control. We'll say OK. There we can see our image is now in. I'm going to click the Submit button. You see our thumbnail was generated. When we go to the image, we see it. And all is good. Now, one of the things that you might notice on my iPhone is that the status bar, the UI web view that's embedded here actually intersects the status bar. So you see that overlay, the status bar is overlaid over the actual application. By design, iOS 7 wants you to do that. But if you'd like a different style, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to resolve that. Go ahead and just move that out of the way. And in this case, let's close this on out. We're going to go back into our builder. And what we're going to do is we're going to load up a third-party plugin. I believe this has now been moved into the core plugins because it's so widely used. This is the status bar plugin. We're going to go ahead and save and upload. So we're updating our application now. And the next time I load this, what will happen is the status bar will behave as it used to in iOS 6. So you'll be able to see that. Let's go ahead. That looks good. Bring the phone back over here. As soon as our build completes, we will scan in the QR code and load the app. We see it updating. I'm going to go ahead and bring the app up. And in this case, you see the status bar is now similar to iOS 6. So that's what you can do with the status bar plugin. So today I've shown you how to work with an existing application. We've changed the demo app to work with the Phonegap native camera control, and we're uploading images to our server, updating records, and so on. So the important takeaway here is when you enter in your URL for your server, make sure that you specify the protocol that you're going to use, HTTP or HTTPS, And if you're publishing to a folder, make sure you specify that also. As you run the mobile application, you're going to notice some issues with the thumbnails, and we're going to tackle that problem in the next video. Thanks.